Hello, hello, my beloved waking gods and goddesses. Welcome to Love, Truth, and Beauty. Do it yourself spiritual awakening for divine in the flesh. Now, the replays on IGTV at dakini.kiss, where together we learn how to surf and navigate the ups and downs of the totality of human experience, composing a new earth beyond the limitations of this perception managed reality matrix of five senses, having discovered our true divine creative natures in our true sensual sensorial universe of seven senses, creating formless into form outside of the matrix. Before we get started, please do give this video a thumbs up. Please also hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, selecting the all setting so that when I upload videos, the YouTube will let you know. I generally upload Tuesdays and Fridays, 2 p.m. Eastern. My name is Maria West, and I am your hostess of the highest, here to download, upload, inspire, and usher you into your bestest and brightest selves, your bestest and brightest light, and inviting you all to open your hearts wider and wider and wider still. Hello, my love bugs, my honey buddies, my divine ones. Welcome to episode 153, part 9 of our 13-part video series regarding the levels and lessons of relationships from unconscious to conscious, in and out of the matrix. And in our last video, we discussed the qualities of fourth level relationships with its lessons of conscious love outside of the matrix, based on the superpowers and gifts of the Heart Chakra, the fourth chakra, Anahata Chakra. Anahata, the Sanskrit word meaning unhurt, unstuck, unbeaten. And today we take a deeper dive into the healing and the great work required that we must do explicitly so that we can move from third level relationships into the fourth level relationships with the heart-based new humanity, often facilitated through the divine purpose of heartbreak and the act of forgiveness. Every woman and every man I've ever partnered with as a creative collaborator, friend, or lover has reflected back all that I am and all that I am not. In reality, my relationships with them had nothing whatsoever to do with who they truly are. And why is that? Why? Because who I thought they were was based on who I thought I was. Now, each relationship, my loves, was a perfect vibrational match to me at the time. I am now aware that my relationships reflect where I am within my own self-knowledge and self-awareness. Everything a colleague, friend, or partner brings to my table perfectly matches what I bring to my table. Now, once our mutual mirrors are allowed to begin emerging from the depths of being, we start to notice tremendous shifts, not only in our own lives, but also in the lives of those surrounding us. All the false concepts we've held on to so tightly let go of us. As we surrender attachment to our perception of others, we also detach from the collective programmed thoughts we think of ourselves. But of course, the powers that want to be and the matrix shitstorm realities want to define us and limit us. And they really don't want us to get this because they prefer to have us enslaved to them, divided and at war with one another so that we're easily controlled. Now, heartbreak is a gift that shatters our protective strategies while allowing the purity of our hearts to shine brilliantly in all directions. Now, woman knows heartbreak intimately. Woman knows the variety of faces and names that heartbreak embodies, whether it's the loss of a child, the suffering of others, the death of a sister, the abuse of a helpless animal, the ongoing man-made shit show devastations upon the earth and the world in and out of the matrix, or the betrayal of a lover. Many women describe a crushing physical sensation in the heart from the betrayal of a lover, along with an intensely painful ache in the womb. I've said often that the greatest perpetrators of human atrocities are women. Don't hate me, okay? These are women that are overrun by their own unconscious masculine, psychopathic in her expression and behaviors of turning the other cheek to human suffering, profiting from it, advocating for it, quite often leading it. Filtered through lack and loss, heartbreak facilitates the dissolving of all attachments, emotional, energetic, mental, physical, psychic, psychological, sexual, and spiritual, to people, places, things, ideas, thoughts, beliefs, concepts, expectations, events, feelings, and traumas of pain and suffering. All heartbreak induces great pain in some form, shape, or fashion. The entirety of the body, my loves, including its emotional, energetic, mental, physical, psychic, psychological, sexual, and spiritual elements, and now technological elements, takes on pain and suffering generated from all these attachments. We all perpetuate mythologies and stories around our shortcomings, telling them not only to ourselves, but also to others over and over again and again. From the very moment of conception, we have been programmed to be unconscious, automations, and avoid feelings, but our stories carry energetic signatures that accumulate over time and magnetize more of the original pain. And that's what the powers that want to do with trauma-based mind control. This is the dynamic quality of the unconscious feminine within men and women, where she, in he and me and you and everyone else, can wallow in the suffering and pain and become identified by that pain and suffering and become literally inconsolable. The divine feminine's loveliest of gifts, her yearning, whether you are a man or a woman, morphs into the desolate emotional black hole of pining. With each and every heartbreak, an additional round of pain is activated and remains until it is consciously looked at, dissolved, or until the charge of the energy signature that it holds is released through self-inquiry, healing, breath work, or conscious loving, all aspects of the great work. In the pain of heartbreak, it needs to be healed. And if it isn't healed and dissolved, it eventually manifests as a toxic charge in the physical body. Likewise, all diseases, my loves, are manifestations of repressed, suppressed, undissolved, unresolved attachments from the past that project onto and into the physical body, as well as outward onto the world. The act of forgiveness, my loves, has proven to be quite the challenge for many of us. For myself, my only two consistently fruitful paths of what I call forgiveness, or moving into a state of grace with someone or something that's hurt me, are the following. Number one, the practice of heart meditation. And number two, the practice of journaling about the hurt until I feel complete. Now, both practices can bring instantaneous relief or prove time-consuming, but my results have been freeing, lasting, and nourishing. And I will put up in that corner my heart meditation, which I believe is my very first video ever on this channel. So I'll put that up there. Now, forgiveness frees us of past burdens and conditions to ultimately manifest unconditional love, or loving beyond our conditioning, which is a requirement of fourth level relationships of the heart-based new humanity. Now, at our very core, we realize the act of forgiving stems from the assumption that we are victims of a perpetrator who must be forgiven for his or her wrongdoing. Now, this notion is based on a dysfunctional belief in the polarity of perpetrator-victim rather than our true inherent wholeness as divine in the flesh. Our past programming and conditioning encourages perpetrator-victim-based forgiveness, yet the past no longer exists. It is past. It is a done deal, and you cannot change it. In my discussions with friends and colleagues, particularly regarding the forgiveness of truly evil crimes against humanity, there was a consensus that perhaps forgiveness wasn't so much about condoning wrongdoing and harm and letting those evildoers off the hook without consequence and culpability, but more about releasing our own attachments, our own emotional reactivity, our own upsets, our own judgments, our own disgust and vengeance toward them and what transpired. Now, a beloved mentor, Caroline Casey of Coyote Network News, offers that forgiveness is the gifting of energy for change. At the same time, a tantric practitioner friend of mine has gone so far as to conclude that there is nothing to forgive in a fully awakened and embodied state, because whatever perceived transgression occurred in an unconscious state. Well, while I aspire to this, I'm not feeling that so much right now, particularly concerning the violent rape and torture of men, women, and children throughout our history and continues today, but will hopefully soon be eradicated. However, I do get it in concept. Now, my friend remains that there are only opportunities to learn and grow. For her, this is divine love, beyond conditioning, beyond preference, beyond our own reactions. However, I'm not part of the glossing over. I'm not on board with glossing over true evils that do exist, because they do. So I am just declaring, I'm not giving that a pass. And it is not my focus. Now, heartbreak has two divergent pathways. It either dissolves the pain, opening and softening the heart to make room for you to be loved and more loving, or it creates so much pain that you just cut off, close off from love to solidify your heart. Now, this heart blockage prevents any flow of love to and from our heart centers. No one can find a way in, and you cannot send love out or feel the joy of receiving love and giving love. As a result, your ability to access and experience empathy is highly impaired, and eventually this emotional energetic template takes over the health layer template of the physical heart and its related organs and functions, resulting in heart disease, heart attacks, heart failure, and other ailments energetically and physically eventually. I often hear people say, oh, you're too sensitive, you need to grow a thicker skin, don't be too emotional, stop feeling hot and bothered. I hear this from so many so-called spiritual people who claim to be awake, yet when it comes to accessing the fullness of human experience, which encompasses the full range of human emotion, feelings, and sensation, these spiritual folks would insist to revert to unconscious and avoidance rather than feel the discomfort of authentic, real emotions like anger and sadness and the experience of totality, the totality of human experience. Now, somewhere along the line, a ridiculous assumption was born that conscious, enlightened people are always happy, happy, happy. They have perfect days on end, perfect health, perfect loving relationships, perfect skin, perfect bodies with cellulite-free, perfect butts, millions of Facebook friends and millions of Instagram and Twitter followers and lots of money. Conscious, enlightened people never experience negative, dramatic, or distressing emotions and would never manifest a terminal illness, or so on and so forth, on and on and on. Now, these beliefs is the basis for the various high-price, new age, instant enlightenment junk food products, props, and services, some of which actually issue gold-leafed diplomas that certify spiritual enlightenment, but contraire, okay? Now, being conscious and awake means feeling everything, including all those uncomfortable feelings, without judgment, without self-importance, without downgrading that importance, and labeling those experiences as good, bad, positive, negative, or whatever the label may be. Instead, it means opening up as you are, where you are, and however you are, allowing life to direct you in each moment without identification and attachment. Now, our heart's natural state is open, my loves. Its closure is unnatural, and that's why it hurts. Living with a hardened heart feels miserable and isolating, yet many of us are stuck in that prison. Pride blocks our spiritual and emotional freedom from pain. We wallow in a self imposed emotional pride hell because we think and believe it's less painful to develop a hard protective shell around us, around our hearts, and ignore the hurt than to face the heartache, heal it, and go on to love as love because you are love in a body. Is it truly easier to harden our hearts and refuse love? Is it easier to fake and feign a heartless and uncaring personality? I don't believe so. But in my deepest heart, I do not feel that is true. Okay, now pride has no place in the realm of divine love. It separates and isolates us from being in conscious presence, not only with ourselves, but also with others and our beloveds. Pride prevents us from entering into heart-based relationships, keeping us sequestered and trapped in unconscious relationships based on power, sex, and control, based on the second and third levels of relationships. It blocks our ability to be open and awake and vulnerable because we say things like, never again will I love too easily. My openness caused me pain. Now, pride stops the flow, keeps us from receiving and giving love, and perpetuates the erroneous notions such as, I don't need anyone, I'm good, I don't need any love to be successful, I already am a success, or he's an ungrateful jerk, my love is too good for him. Pride forbids us to ask for help. I'm good. I don't need any help. I got this. I can do it all myself. I'm self-sufficient. An important twofold aspect of divine love and mastering the art of relating is the ability to request another for help when we are suffering, and your capacity to be there for another when he or she is hurting and suffering and asks for your help. True divine love and mutual happiness requires conscious presence, active listening, and engages our ability to alleviate each other's suffering through compassionate support, empathy, and the willingness to not only ask each other for help, but to receive it as well. Surrendering to love is required, my friends. Pride is a tether to the past and keeps us detached from the present and from the future. It is impossible to truly love if pride is in the equation because we are not present at all. We are stuck in the matrix. We cannot consciously love from the past or in the future. We cannot love outside of our presence. Stuck in pride, vulnerability can never reveal itself and open us to love. We unconsciously choose to stay in stagnant, dysfunctional, toxic relationships that become the equivalent of a snarling truce with something significant missing: whole, redemptive love. Living for the sake of love is the root of love divine. Our pain takes us to the cutting edge of embodying this love, risking everything we cling to, particularly our desires to avoid pain, by opening to feel the pain in its entirety without identifying with any of it. The world can wait because love always comes first. Outside of the matrix, it is the true quantum field universe. So, can we love and let go? Can we open as love and let love take us over the edge? Now, dissolving past attachments, my friends, allows us to live and love freely, meet each moment of life as fresh, new, and ripe with possibility, and embrace each experience as authentic, free of past attachments, identification, and grounded in our true divine natures, all from a place of trust and wholeness. In our brokenness, our wholeness is revealed. Just as shadows prove the light, a broken heart can allow the universe to shine through. I say, bring love on. May we open our hearts so vastly that we cannot do harm. So I have an offering here. Now, to find out where you and your relationships align concerning divine love, ask yourselves the following journaling exercise questions. Number 1, does my heart feel open or closed? Number 2, have past hurts created a shield around my heart? Number 3, if so, am I willing to allow the possibility of softness in my heart as the flow of love, my true nature, shines through and heals? Number 4, will I ask my beloved to help me when I am suffering? Number 5, will I offer my beloved comfort when she is suffering? Number 6, will I open up myself to the possibility of a state of grace? Will I forgive and release the past and its circumstances and all people involved, especially myself? Number 7, will I allow myself to surrender this past pain to the divine and be the love that I truly am? And number 8, am I willing to trust that love is the answer? Now, last but not least, my loves, for more information regarding the power of the heart, I want you to check out in the description box below the Institute of Heart Math. I will have that link. And okay, my honey bunnies, that is my speech. Next time, we will have an excellent discussion about the evolution of conscious sexuality and lovemaking outside of the matrix in the true quantum field, creation field universe. Please help me grow my channel by giving this video a thumbs up, leaving a comment in the comments box below or in private. I promise that either myself or one of my assistants will answer your query and your comments. Please share this video with your communities, friends, family members, and on social media platforms you feel would benefit from this content. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, selecting the all setting so that the YouTube will let you know when I upload next. And if you find value, enjoy, or benefit from my content and videos, or at least entertained by them, won't you please consider supporting my work through a donation? My PayPal link is right below, as is my link tree that hooks you up with all the many different ways you can connect with me, work with me, support my work, purchase my books. I thank you all so much for hanging out with me, with your participation and focused attention. I really do appreciate it. I cannot do this work without you. So until next time, my dear hearts, always act from love outside of the matrix, from your center screens, composing a new reality, quantum jumping all of your lifelines so that you can be the love that you are. You can share your love, create, make art, make music, make love, and help me repopulate the true quantum field, creation field universe. Here's to love, truth, and beauty, my waking gods and goddesses. Mwah!